You know that feeling when you want something so bad, you do pretty much anything to get it, even if the plan is just a little bit crazy? We're about to dive into this incredible 2,500-year-old story from Aesop, and let me tell you, it's a serious warning about when ambition goes fatally wrong.
So here's what we're going to do. We'll start with where this whole story comes from, then I'll tell you the fable of the thirsty dogs. After that, we're going to break down their, let's say, questionable logic, see how it applies to our lives today, and wrap up by talking about a much, much smarter way to get what you want, finding your bridge.
All right, first things first. To really get why this fable hits so hard, we got to understand where it comes from. Let's set the stage a bit.
Okay, so we're rewinding the clock way back. We're talking 6th century BCE, ancient Greece. And I want you to really let that sink in. This isn't some hot new take from a self-help guru. This is wisdom that's been passed down for over 2,500 years. Why? Because the lesson it teaches about ambition, it's just as real and just as important right now as it was back then.
And the guy who came up with it, get this, his name was Aesop. This was a man who, legend has it, started as a slave and became so wise that he ended up advising kings. And his secret weapon? He used these simple stories about animals to point out the biggest, most dangerous flaws in how we humans think and act.
Okay, before we jump into the story itself, let's quickly go over the key symbols. Think of this as the decoder ring for the fable. So, the dogs, they're not just animals. They stand for any group of people, a team, a company, whatever, who are all just desperately hungry for the same thing. The hides, that's the prize, the goal, the reward that's just out of reach. And the river, this is the big one. The river is that massive obstacle, that force of nature that you just can't conquer with willpower alone. Got it? Okay, let's go.
All right, the stage is set. Let's get to the fable itself. Here's the story of the thirsty dogs.
So picture this, a pack of dogs, super hungry. You can practically see their ribs, and their eyes are totally locked on this amazing prize, some fresh animal hides soaking at the bottom of a stream. For a hungry dog back then, this was like hitting the jackpot.
But of course, there's a catch. The water's too deep. They can't reach the hides. They can see it, they can smell it, but it's just out of reach. And this right here, this is that critical moment, that point of frustration where their sheer desperation is about to cloud their judgment in a big, big way.
So what's their move? They all get together, this little council of desperation, and they come up with a plan. And let me tell you, it's a perfect textbook example of how groupthink can lead to a terrible idea that they think is absolutely brilliant. Their plan is to drink the entire river. Yeah, you heard me right. Not find a long stick, not go look for food somewhere else. Nope. Their big idea for getting past this obstacle is to literally swallow it whole.
And so, they do it. They fully commit. They start drinking, and they drink, and they drink, and they keep drinking until, one by one, their bodies just can't take it anymore. And they burst. And the absolute kicker? The river, that massive, unbeatable obstacle, it's still there. Just as deep as it was before. They literally destroyed themselves for absolutely nothing.
Wow. Yeah, pretty grim, right? But the real genius of this story isn't just the shocking ending. It's about digging into why. Why was their plan so incredibly fatally flawed?
This right here nails it. It's the absolute heart of the problem. See, they got so laser-focused on the how do we get the hides, that they completely forgot to ask the most fundamental question of all. Hey guys, if we do this, is it even possible? Can this actually work?
And that's what this whole fable is about. It forces us to turn the mirror on ourselves and ask some really tough questions. Like this one. If your grand plan for success requires you to basically destroy yourself in the process, is that really success at all?
And here's another one. We have to get real with ourselves. Is the strategy we're chasing based on reality, or is it just a complete fantasy that we've cooked up because we're so desperate? Are we, in our own way, trying to drink a river? And finally, it's a huge red flag about the danger of the echo chamber. Think about it. All the dogs agreed this was a great plan. It just goes to show you how a group of people can talk each other into a terrible idea, reinforcing it over and over until it actually starts to sound logical, even as it's leading every single one of them straight off a cliff.
Okay, so I know what you might be thinking. That's a cool old story, but what does it have to do with me? Well, the thing is, these impossible rivers are everywhere today. Let's look at some examples that might feel a little too real.
This really breaks it down nicely.
I mean, look at the personal example. You've got massive debt, so your brilliant plan is to take out high-interest loans to pay it off. You're trying to drink the river, and you just end up bursting financially. Or how about the interpersonal one? Trying to change your entire personality just to get someone to like you. You lose who you are, and guess what? The river of their indifference just keeps flowing. And in the professional world, oh, it's the classic startup that tries to conquer the world by burning through money it doesn't have. They drink and drink that venture capital until the company just collapses.
And what's so wild is how this simple little story taps into these huge universal ideas. I mean, from a science perspective, the river is just a system that's bigger than you. It's like trying to argue with the law of gravity. It's not going to work. Spiritually, it's this idea of the hungry ghost, this being that's always trying to fill an endless emptiness inside. It's a pattern of self-destruction that shows up everywhere, in every culture.
Okay, so we've established that drinking the river is a very, very bad idea. So what's the alternative? What's the smart move? Well, that brings us to the most important part, how to find a better way forward.
And here it is, the key lesson of the whole fable. The point isn't that you should give up on the prize. Not at all. The point is that you have to be smarter than the obstacle. You don't try to swallow the river, you find a bridge to go over it, or you build a boat to cross it. It's about using your brain, not just your brute force. It's about strategy over self-destruction. So let's boil it down to 3 key lessons. 1. You gotta ask yourself if the reward is really worth the price of admission, especially if that price is you. 2. Some obstacles aren't meant to be smashed through, they're meant to be gone around. And 3, and this is a big one, check your sources. Is the group you're listening to giving you actual wisdom, or are they just an echo chamber telling you what you want to hear?
And look, if you take just one thing from this and apply it to your own life, make it this mantra. Next time you're facing a massive challenge, just tell yourself, I align my ambitions with the laws of reality. It's not about dreaming smaller, it's about aiming smarter. Which leaves us with this one last powerful piece of advice. Before you go all in on a goal, before you commit everything you have, just pause, take a step back, and measure the river. You can still aim high, you can still want big things, but you have to stay grounded. Don't let your own hunger trick you into becoming a casualty of your own ambition. So the question I'll leave you with is this: what river in your life do you need to stop trying to drink and start looking for a bridge?